In this video, we're going to learn about how to label our output. Here I've defined 3 variables, I've given them each a value, and then I've printed them out on individual lines. So when I run this program, I get that output. I get the name, then I get some number 29 and some number 2895. Now when I just look at this, so consider this is the user. Because I wrote these and I know what they are, I can look at them and they're meaningful to me. But a user wouldn't know what those are. Certainly Alice Walters is a name, but what is 29? Is that how fast she drives down Main Street? Is that how many friends she has? What does that mean? What is 28.95? Is that how many that good deal she got on her jeans last week? Or who knows what that is? And that's the problem with just outputting variables, is that it doesn't give us enough meaning. So what's important whenever you print out values, you want to print out a label. And this is called an output label. So here, I'm just going to do a straight up there. I'm going to identify that's a name. Here, I'm going to put an age. And here, I'm going to put wage rate. Now when I print them out, it tells me this is a name, this is an age, and this is a wage rate. So now they're informative. Now they mean something, not just to me, the programmer, but they mean something to somebody who comes along and reads. They become more meaningful because they are labeled. Notice how here this variable name wage rate, since spaces can't be part of a variable name, I've mushed them together for the name of the variable. But I don't have to do that same thing for the label. So these are 2 very different things. This has to follow the rules of naming variables. That means it needs to be a single word and have made up of letters and numbers and the underscore. Whereas labels can be anything I want. You want the labels to be something that's meaningful to a user, somebody who might see the program running. So labels you want to be meaningful. Another way we can do labels, here I simply just put a label in front of each variable, but you can embed the variables inside sentences. So I could see out name, the variable, and then a string is, and then another variable, and years old. Okay, now what I've done is I've printed out a variable followed by a string, followed by a variable, followed by a string. And let's go ahead and print that. And now it becomes part of a sentence. Alice Walters is 29. Oh, and look right there. I've missed a space. This is really common. But notice how easy it is to see. When you view that output, you see right away I need to have a space there. How do you get there? The space goes as part of the label, right? It has to be inside a string to display. So now what I've done is I've embedded the variables inside a sentence. So you look at that, Alice Walters is 29 years old, and you can't even see that which ones are the variables and which ones are the labels. So that's another way to do output labels. Here with distinct labels in front of each value, and here with just it embedded in a sentence. Let's go ahead and do another sentence. She makes, and here I'm going to put the wage rate. Per hour. All right, so now I've embedded that variable wage rate inside there. She makes $28.95 per hour. Now I can prove this output label by putting a $sign here. So a $sign would be something that we might expect. Again, this becomes part of the label. So it's just part of the string like that. She makes, put the $sign, then the value. And there, she makes $28.95 per hour. So you can make your labels, make your output look how you want it. Remember, though, not to just print out variables without some sort of label. Always use output labels to explain the variables to somebody using the program.